What is up, guys? It's your boy GRC. This is my picture of your boy GRC, and this is Crypto in the Morning. Every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern. As of right now, if I get a super special guest, me and Sam can get a little flexible, but it's basically on his schedule, depending on what the day is. But I'm covering everything right away. I'm not leaving it to, I wanted to play fair in the sandbox, let everyone have their turn, and no. Sam, I always go in nice, and Sam says, you should have thrown an elbow. That's what he says. And I'm like, I know. Damn it. Because I have feelings too, guys. But I want to cover this stuff for real. And there's so much good content, Sam, every day. Use us as tools rather than push us away, because me and Sam are just very interested in this. Like literally, like it's interesting. It's not all about money to Sam and I and Bullish. Yes, we want to make a lot of money, but really we want to stay stimulated, Sam. I'm scared. Me and Sam are afraid of stimulation loss in the future due to lack of resources because we move, man. We move and we want to see everything and we want to look at everything and we want to talk about everything. And we want to teach the new guys how to not get perma-wrecked. And that's important to me, not as much to Sam. And he would say that like I come from that spot where I got hacked and then I'm like, I have this emotional conflict about it. I want to teach some guys. Sam's like, man, these tools are here right now. Let's get into them. Let's dive into them. You know what I mean? Like, so this is a really good show. And then on top of all that sauce, you have the special sauce Bullish, who actually knows how to deal with a computer and has a brain that works for something other than just focusing on one thing like me and Sam. We just love, but he keeps us all grounded. We're blowing this thing up. Crypto in the Morning, guys. I need you to go over. Bullish, can you drop that link right now? I want you to go over to the CITM cast, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button. Make sure you go over there because when we get to 1,000 subs, boop, we're gone. And I'll be talking S on GRC channel 24/7 while I go Hollywood with Bullish and Sam. Okay. I call myself Hollywood until I'm in Hollywood. I don't really want to go to Hollywood, but whatever that is, like, wow. So let's go, guys. Crypto in the Morning, our official rapper DeFi proof is the get.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way.
DeFi proof. Yeah.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Yo, what's good, G? How you doing today? We have the first day after the merge. It's like we've been baptized, right? It's like we moved on from this thing. That
I have to go on fucking Mexi X exchange just to even make a move. So I think it's floored my whole life. But no, it's pretty great stuff, cool stuff to say the least, Sam.
Correct, and this is literally the biggest thing that's happened in crypto, bigger than Terra Luna. This is the biggest thing that's happened in crypto in a long time, and we're gonna have the reverberations from this for a long time coming into the future.
I think they should thank Vitalik for keeping this market alive. And I'm not saying that that's all happening right this moment, but I think he's extrapolating some good things into the future that can keep crypto sustainable personally. And I think that's what I want out of all of this. Like, I don't care about the price action of ETH. Even if there's a triple halvening, I don't really care about the upside of that. Like, there's just too much good upside in crypto for me to really care about a 5x, like max, like in a bear market, max, totally max, like never would happen ever. But so, you know what I mean? But the downside risk of these markets in general is what scares me. And with something like Ethereum has proven that it will dump 90% in your face. Do not care how cool you think it is. I moved all my ETH to USDC pre-bridge.
And now you went through and actually took
$100 just to see
what it was like, right?
Yep. So bullish.
How about you talk about? Do you want to talk about that experience, like what it was like, and share people? Because
it's weak, trash, horrible adoption, never going to happen. But like, I'll show you how mine went. So basically, this morning I said, you know, I want to buy. Or Bullish and I were talking on the phone, and he was talking about all these deals on the ETH side, and I said, you know, I'd love to buy 9 million hex for, you know, $100 or whatever the price was at the time. And I said, you know, that's probably a smart idea. You know, rather than spending. But what some guys will do, really what they will do is they will take their entire stack and do something like that. And that's how you go to zero very fast in crypto, because you have to pay attention first to see what's going on. There's rules, regulations, and hey, USDC is not on the other end because they decide to do whatever the fuck they want. You know, so I'm just saying, guys, don't do a lot. A lot of these, when there's no liquidity in an asset, you don't have to go so hard on it. Like there's no liquidity in any of these assets, like none. And that's where I need Sam's help when we get talking, because and that might be more after the show, but a little bit during the show too. Like I need you to get in on these LP pools and see, is there anything worth anything here? Because imagine, Sam, between USDT and the native stablecoin and an asset like Hex, an asset like Hedron, an asset like Ethereum with the W on the other end, you could provide liquidity with, because why are the Hexicans going to go over there? They spent a lot of money on a layer one already, Sam. They don't want to buy into this layer one yet. They want cash. They want cash. So they're going to get out USDT. So those LP pools could get feisty with little competition. So that's where I need your expertise.
Think about that, though. If there is value on POW right now, there's been a lot of dumping on there. But if there's value over there and you can go spend $150 and get 2 million hex, I mean, for $150, it might not be a bad play potentially. I'm not saying anybody should do that, but there is the possibility that somebody with a lot more money than we have is like, yes, I want other people to have copies of their hex over there, and I will put the LP in, I will create the bridge, etc., whatever needs to be done, or create, because I'm assuming somebody with more information on this should let us know in the chat. I believe you have to have a separate front end for that to work on that side.
That'll be all done though. Like
but think about this. Think about this, right? You have people who have T shares who started with hex at the beginning, right? Now you can go over bridge over $150 and buy $2 million for the hex. If there's a front end on that side, right? We have proof of stake, proof of work, both of them are Ethereum. So on the proof of work side, if there's a front end to stake hex, that's just stays the same. Nothing's changing here.
There's already a front end.
So
Mike also built it already.
So Bullish, were you on?
Oh yeah, Alex did all this live. I mean, Alex published all this shit. He was like, I got everything locked in and loaded already. Done.
So what you can do, right? If think about the arbitrage here. This could be massive, right? And I'm not just kind of like coming to this right as we're speaking here, but if this is accurate, right, Alex has already created a front end for hex on POW. Then what somebody could do to get a $2 million exposure on ETH 2.0. Well, let's see, if hex is 4 cents, then that means that they need to have, let's see, $2 million divided by 0.04. They need 50 million hex, right? I think is the math or something like that. So you could take $150 and get the same type of exposure that you would have to have on proof of stake for a fraction of the cost. So think about this. You go back and forth, right? You have the amount you'd have to pay to get $2 million of proof of stake hex, right? How much is that going to cost you? If you want 2 million hex 2 million hex times 0.04 cents. It's going to cost you $80,000 over here. Then I'm like, hey, GRC, instead of spending $80,000 over here for 2 million hex that you're going to stake into the future and earn 38%, what if I told you could take $150 and stake that into the future and earn 38%?
But that's what
the
he
same
done.
amount.
He already fixed this shit. We already did this with Hedron. We already bought Hex with no liquidity again.
But this is another.
That's what I'm
same thing
saying.
happened
Like,
with-
how
same
much
thing
can
happened
we
with-
really? How you can have to pick and choose where the LP goes, and I think in this case, like you mentioned and alluded to, there's too much sell pressure on that side. With Hedron, there's a little bit more. People got it for free. They understand it. They have value in it. Alex is a trusted founder. Vitalik has all these long-term plays that have long extrapolation situations that nobody can really understand, but we hope it's all going to be great, of course. Real quick, guys, everyone shake it out real quick. That was a good amount of info.
Yeah, and real quick for like some people that are confused. The front end we're talking about, if you go to app.icosa.com, I don't know if everyone's familiar with this, but you can create native stakes and interact with your stakes and end stakes and all that other stuff on the Icosa dApp. So you can do your Icosa, your Hedron, and your Hex on the ETHW chain, right from
Do you have to
right from the
change?
front end.
Do you
Yeah,
have
you
to
just
change-
switch it on MetaMask. Switch your network on MetaMask, refresh the page, and now you're on the ETHW chain, and you have access to all your stuff to either stake Hex, unstake it, create HSIs, whatever you want.
Okay, this is what will.
And then as far as exchange, there is a DEX. It's called a Kyber Swap, I believe it is.
spell that?
Actually, I'll put it in the private chat. I'll put it
I think
here.
it's KYPH.
Kyber Swap. So that's what everyone's been using, and
Okay.
and yeah, we've tested it out. This is not financial advice, but yeah, $100 of USDT got me about 1.9 million Hex.
I should have swapped all my shit to USDT, but literally instead of USDC, but I literally didn't care. So that was my bad.
But Bullish, before we jump off of here, can you just do 1, 2, 3 sequence for people? So first of all, you got to add, and I'll just think it out loud.
Depends on what you start with, because if you in your bag, if you
Right.
started with certain assets that got forked over, you won't have to buy the native asset
Right.
for gas.
Essentially, you basically need to get your hands on ETHW. So
Yes.
Kyber Swap is one of the places where you can easily get ETHW without going through the whole KYC process. So if you send them USDT to Kyber Swap, and then you swap that for ETHW, then you can take that ETHW, send it back to your MetaMask, and then go to Kyber Swap, and then buy whatever you want.
Thank you. I'll be doing that later today, guys. We'll give you.
Yes, make sure you publish any information on that and any notes
you
that you
both.
can take while you're doing that, and we can put them to the show tomorrow just while we're doing it anyway. Because everything we do now, Sam, is literally like, it used to be like studying things, and now it's like taking notes on the things that are happening like at the moment.
Because there's so much happening.
But it's literally too front loaded with info. That's why I tell people, like, you think these guys that come on Twitter that have been chilling with their families and working for 18 hours a day at a random ass job know what they're talking about. And they actually think they know what they're talking about. But I know that both of those things are stupid and they're not real because they're not paying attention. So when someone who's not paying attention wants to tell me details about what's going on, I generally press the mute button and then just go about my life. Because it's like, why? You're not even paying attention. You're not even in the game and you're talking about the game. Like, it's stupid.
In regards to the merge here, one of the things that I noticed last night with Aave, right? Aave is the lending protocol with 2.0 where you can put assets in there and then borrow against them. Check this out. This is Aave's dApp here. Look at this. They were almost, I think they maxed out the amount of ETH you can borrow yesterday.
And that's why life is a scam, right?
That's why I think we're going to see a big sell-off in Ethereum. I think we're going to continue to see a sell-off like over the next, rest of today into tomorrow as this gets paid off and then people get their positions back and then they sell off and transition into other assets. I think that we're going to see.
I went all into USDC because I was afraid of downside volatility risk. Sam, do you think that I'm a smart young man?
Of course. Yes. I mean, like, look at the price.
Crypto Kool-Aid thinks the same.
Crypto Kool-Aid is having a blast.
That was Vegas, guys. I mean, come on, dude. We were going so hard with it. That dude's dance moves. Yeah, you might not like Crypto Kool-Aid, but just don't catch him when he's anywhere near a dance floor because he will punch you in the face and dance all night long. He loves the dance floor. GRC also loves the dance floor. Funny video, but yeah, at the end of the day, I went into USDC because generally we're in a bear market. Like, you know, the inflation number is going directly up, and now everyone's leveraging all of their Ethereum to get more so they can fork it and then sell it. And then they're going to say there's a triple halvening, so all of that leverage doesn't matter. But really, they're just making all the money directly in the beginning. It's stupid.
Yeah,
But it's not stupid for tech. It's just stupid for people to be buying on.
And we could see some real low prices pretty soon as this continues to like,
Dude,
you know,
$200, please. $2, please. Ethereum, please. I
Well,
don't care.
so from everyone buying from yesterday, Hex is at 50 cents on ETHW right now.
50 cents.
Yeah, from everyone
Hey,
buying it up.
Now's a good time to dump your shit, bro.
Wait,
Right?
so there's like, again, there's no liquidity. So it's like, but doesn't matter. I need to look at that stuff for real and see the liquidity, and we'll look at that. We can go to Dex Guru if someone can pull
Yeah,
up.
and like if for
you
anyone
pull up Dex
listening,
Guru bullish, let him do it because the site is like a hard loader. It's a
and
really
for anyone listening,
dead
like
set.
don't go and like blow your whole bag. If you got like if you got some copy of your
$30.
ETHW, whatever it is, and you want to like do this, go ahead and do this. But don't go and like, yeah, let me go aping and try to get a billion Hex. Like
I'm
don't do
selling
that.
my house.
We have no idea what's going to actually happen. Like it could all go to zero. Like we
Yeah.
have no idea.
I pretty much what I spent, I pretty much smoke weed on a daily basis, so it's fine.
The truth is, over time, everything will be bullish, bullish, bullish. But you just need to not be trading like that because that's really low downside volatility. You get wrecked.
Bullish, do you have the price
chart?
chart?
Can you go to Dex Guru and type
Yeah,
in ETHW?
Which one? ETHW? Okay.
I think it was trading as low as like 10 or 15 bucks last time I heard it.
And
I
I'll
haven't
pull up
checked.
nomics on my end just to compare some of these things while we're going talking wise. So right now, guys, in the market, I'll do my first look this morning because again, I don't look at these prices. I tell you, I really don't. Bitcoin's holding up stronger than Ethereum right now, but Ethereum's holding on by a thread because it did a 15x compared to freaking Bitcoin in the last, and we're in a bloody bear market, and this sell the news events coming out. And a bunch of mumbo jumbo that people don't understand that I have to go to freaking a centralized exchange to spend $100. Like it's just wrecked. No, it's going to go down. And people that do know about these processes will dump as much liquidity as possible.
There are
So
so many
Hex
listings for
down
ETHW
to-
here at different prices. I don't know which one's the right one.
It's usually like the first one. What about
No, it
and
can't be the
just,
first one. The first one is
what about HexW?
Yeah. Let's see.
See if that pulls up anything.
XW did, but it's pretty much saying zero.
Yeah, it's
Where
not
did you get the 50
It's all
cents?
brand new. It's all brand new stuff.
Someone in the chat said they went on a Kyber swap and tried it, and Hex was at 50 cents.
Guys, if you want us to go through all those step by step, you're gonna have to talk to me or Bullish or Sam and beg for mercy after the show, or book a consultation or something. Because again, I can't be telling.
I'm not consulting on this.
I know you're not, and I know Sam. I might not either. I don't.
There might be an opportunity. There might
I
not.
don't want people
So,
to get wrecked. Bullish.
Yeah. So if you don't want people to get wrecked, do not touch ETHW.
Thank you. Yes, that's what I mean, guys. Like when I say $100, I mean I did $100. That's it. Like Bullish walked me through it. I did $100. So I never was like, oh my God, here we go. 9 million Hex. This is my final moment to make money. I'm going to dump all my shit. That's what jokers do. And I mean, jokers like the slang term they use in the British, over in the UK, not of course our friend Joker. Crypto Nick. He would never do such a thing. Okay. So, but seriously, guys, so that I want to end that segment kind of, but unless I want closing words out of you guys for sure. Bullish, I want your closing words first on this subject for the newer guys and the guys in the middle, guys like me, that when it comes to like the finances and messing around. I'm a little risk averse.
Yeah,
Don't mess with it or keep it low.
Yeah, like my thoughts on this is like the opportunity is if for whatever reason this chain gains some traction and they're able to get use out of it, there's a potential for price parity. We don't know how long that might take or how much economic energy will have to come into the system for that to happen, but it's a possibility. So that, you know, that's the upside. The downside is whatever you spent, you pretty much lost. So,
and that's why we're getting Dollar Cost Crypto to come on the show to give us his take on all this stuff, because no one understands this stuff better and has been looking at these specific details. I haven't talked to him on this note yet, but I hit him up yesterday and he said I gave him like 4 times the stream, and I got to see if he's getting back to me. So I'm going to try and set that up for today or tomorrow where I can get on with him and talk about real strategy, because he likes to talk about the degen stuff, but just like us, he says, I would never. He has lots of money. So, you know, 1% to him is a little bit different than 1% to me. So it's a different arena, but I love the information. I need to know it. I need to know it, because DCC puts in a lot of that work right when these things come out, just like me and Sam are now. There's not many guys that do. I want to talk to those guys. I want to see the guys that have already played with it and are about to play with it, are really thinking about it and are thinking about it in a smart way, rather than thinking, oh my God, this is my one chance to make it out of this hellhole. No, you got 100 chances a day. You know what I mean? Like,
well, one of the things that's going to come of this that we were chatting about this morning is because we have the split of attention, right? You have POS and POW. Even if 5% of the people on POS now prefer POW, what does that do to congestion? So people are like, oh, the merge is not going to impact transaction costs. The merge is not going to impact transaction costs. The merge is not going to impact transaction costs. But that's actually not true, because if you are driving to work and on that 20-minute drive, there's normally 600,000 people on the road. And then there's another route that comes available, brand new, that nobody's used, and 10% of the traffic moves to that route. What happens to the congestion on your route to work? There's less congestion. What does that mean? Lower fees on POW and lower fees on POS. So overall, this is going to, even if like nobody decides to do anything on POW in the chat here, because there is going to be people over there, it might just be a small amount of people, that's going to reduce the transaction volume on proof of stake, at least initially. As obviously as we continue to grow adoption, that's going to change, but initially this is going to drop the gas cost slightly. Nothing to do with the actual merge technology, but just because it's splitting attention on here.
Yeah, I agree. You know, like I agree. It's just there's not that much liquidity. I mean, at some point there has to be US dollar available. So how much US dollar can be spread about these systems, that how much mental attention / click capacity / people that even care to focus for 2 seconds, like people will come back in the bull market and be like, what the hell happened that whole time? And we're like, dude, a lot.
Yes.
And then they're like, cool, I held. And then that's their play. And our play is like, yeah, I'm going to hold, but I'm also going to be aggressively trying to gain positions in all of the assets that I think are lit, which there are not that many of, which is cool because you can be aggressive. So I think it's really awesome. The fight weight token, real quick
before you move off this topic, guys, please don't start clicking on random bridges and all this other stuff. There's already a bunch of people that got rinsed for connecting for stuff that they thought supported. You know, there's a lot of stuff going out there. Do not deal with any bridges. There's no official bridges out yet that are trustworthy, even though all of them come with inherent risk. If you see anything out there, don't deal with it.
I'm going to probably figure out this, and then maybe tomorrow we can do a walkthrough of exactly how it's done, or not how you guys should do it, but how the steps I took.
Yeah.
If I get wrecked, I get wrecked, or whatever the case is. So
we'll do it again tomorrow. This is really hot news. So the first 30 minutes we'll do on ETHW tomorrow, guys. Get ready, and we'll talk about all the details that we learn over the next 24 hours, and I'm sure there will be a lot. So let's move on. I want to talk about Zen token here, and I have a few things to pull up. So I'm going to drop the testnet link. It's the quickest little front end in history.
Yes.
So let me drop the link. And Sam, I want you to tell the people what you know so far about Zen token and what you think about it and in general.
Real quick, since you're dropping the link, so people are aware, this is Ethereum testnet, not Pulse Chain, Ethereum testnet. So make sure,
2.0.
yeah. So make sure you switch over to I forgot how to pronounce it. It's G something. Essentially, it's there as an option. You got to switch over to that one in order to interact with the testnet.
Thank you. So there's
Rinkby. Are you talking about Rinkby or is it? Anyway, I'm gonna pull that. I'm gonna drop that link, and then but there's also an hour video. So there's an hour-long, extremely detailed video. But I really feel like we would be better spent, like me, just separately watching that video and just talking to you about it, because then you wouldn't have to watch it too, and we could just talk. Because really, a lot of these ideas I understand to a degree, and I want to just learn more about the ideas, because that's really what this is, right? What's an adoption play? We're thinking about the future a lot, right? There's a lot of future projection here, and what can go wrong in that future. That's what I'm worried about, not for my wallet in particular, but just for the sake of learning, right? So, Sam, what do you think about Zen token? What do you think about what you've seen so far and what you've read, and some concerns and some things that you think might be cool?
So Zen token, to give people context, if you're not aware, that's XEN, is the token that is done by former top 25 employee at Google, Jack Levin, and he put together basically a spigot, right? A faucet for crypto. So how I think about this is, if you look at Bitcoin, in order to get to inflation, right? Because that's where a lot of people want to be, in front of the inflation spigot, you have to mine in Bitcoin, right? Because then you can get paid. In order to get inflation in Ethereum POS, you got to do the same thing, right? Hex is the same thing. You can get closer to inflation with POS because now you can stake with validators, right? So that's closer to inflation, but still not necessarily everybody involved. Hex is that was what it was designed for. So you're even closer to inflation. But with Zen, everybody, that's how you get Zen, is through the inflation. You go and you just mint your own tokens. That's it, right? Whoops. You go through and you mint your own tokens. You can take those tokens and you can stake those into the future at an interest rate of 20%, right? That rate comes down every 90 days. So I don't know if it's once you lock in at 90%, if it's locked in for the perpetuity of your stake, or if every quarter that is dropping down with the entry level rate. We'll have to get more clarification from Jack on this. And it's open source. So that means that somebody else could take this software who has like maybe more attention, who has more marketing awareness, who is able to drive adoption. Because like, how is Zen going to gain value? Adoption, right? Like that's literally the only way Zen is going to go up in value, is if people want it. If people are going to go in there and actually purchase that. I love how simple it is, right? It's not trying to be anything else. It's not trying to be staking with hacks or shit like that. It's not trying to be all this other stuff that's on Ethereum. It's like, this is the spigot and you can build around this. It's the simplest form. I think GRC mentioned it's only 400 lines of code or something like that.
Yeah, it's very simple. He wanted, like he mentions, it's simple, it's easy to copy. Yeah,
and it's also all algebra. Everything's algebra.
Everything's what?
Algebra.
What is that? What do you mean?
It's simple, so it's not like calculus. It's not like some weird derivative.
I wouldn't know the fucking difference between it.
Super simple. Super simple.
I took algebra. I think that was probably the last of it I took. So let's look here, guys. So connect your wallet real quick.
So something is wrong. I might be on the wrong network.
Yeah, it's the network thing. Bullish. Do you understand the network part of it?
Well, let me refresh this and see if
it's on. So basically, you don't. I mean, we don't really have to work through it. I kind of just want to look here anyway, because it's just 2 buttons. So mint and stake, guys. Mint and stake, and that doesn't mean
that's it. That's it. Mint free Zen and stake Zen.
Right. And let's check the participation, right, Sam? So let's copy that address and put it into Etherscan. Go to press stake. And then you need to be obtained that and then
let's do so.
one
So
day.
say
Let's do 1 day.
1 day. Okay. Start minting. It's you can't see this, but my MetaMask is pulling up on the side.
And it might not let it go.
It probably won't, but it says I can confirm. It's costing me 42 cents. I think this is on the test net. This is just a dummy wallet, so it doesn't matter. Still thinking this is going to go through. Maybe tomorrow we can do an update on this if I get Zen in this test.
Well, yeah, but I think I don't know if it'll happen right this second because I don't know. I don't know.
But by tomorrow it'll be there.
Right.
Like mine is not there yet because I started mine when you did the stream with him, so mine's not gonna be available until like 6 something.
I pulled up the Etherscan yesterday, and there was 500 people that have done it.
Oh, interesting.
So yesterday, 500 people had done it. Yeah. So if you go here, and then you click on, hold on, I can't. Let me zoom in on my side. Okay. So look, you can see all the quantity, and you can see the amount, and 58 transactions found for maybe the 24 hours or.
Where do you? Oh yeah, 58 transactions. Yeah, I guess so. Since it's launched, there's 3 pages of stuff here. I think this is the one that I just did right here 2 minutes ago that went through.
Yeah.
This is the quantity of tokens they're receiving, I think.
Yep.
Potentially.
No,
What?
I don't think that's the one you did because that's the stake. Yours would
Oh,
be.
that's the stake. There's 58 stakes found, Sam.
How do you know this is stakes? What do you see?
Because I saw 500.
Right there, it says method. It says method stake.
Oh, right there in the second, right there, stake.
Thank you. Okay, so
I
this.
see.
So mine's not showing up.
Oh no, I know. Go up a little bit, and then go to. Hold on, let me stay here for 1 second. You can see.
I'm listening.
The reason I think it doesn't show up, and I think he explained it, is you have to wait for the day to pass, and then it gets minted, and then it will show up as an actual transaction.
Gotcha.
So we can pull it down. I mean, it's cool.
This is what are your thoughts on this? What do you think of Zen and just making it the very basic? There's no centralized.
It'll work if no one else does it better. That's it. Like it'll work if everything's clean. It'll work if someone else doesn't decide to do it better.
What do you think about the adoption play? Because if you are trying to get somebody into crypto, how do you get somebody into crypto? You're like, well, you got to buy crypto, and they're like, well, do I get that money back? And they think buying, and then they think spending money, and when you spend money, right? I go buy the shaker cup $10, and now I don't have the $10.
It's more about like, do you think Zen's going to work out, or do you think this concept's going to work out?
Do you think Zen is going to work?
That depends if someone else doesn't copy it and do it better. Like, what if Donald Trump copied it and was like, "Let's go. I love this shit." Because there's probably people that intellectually respect Jack in the world that know he's not the most punching power guy in the world. I'm not saying he's not a beast. I don't know his shit. Goes in private jets and shit. That's pretty lit. But I know there's levels to that shit. For real. Like I've seen enough. Like I know there's you can be super forever rich, and then you look at another dude and he's like, you're broke. And you know what I mean? And then I'm like super forever rich to some random people. And they're like, I'm like, dude, I'm broke. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I think it's just like, there's levels to this shit. How many people are paying attention? Not many, Sam.
And the other thing with that, and not, I don't know this, but copying it, right? Like I could see copying it, but then you're like, okay, well, who would win if there was a copy, right? So you're Jack Levent, you're open sourcing this, right? So that people can copy this. And let's just say I have more marketing power. But when you think of the people who would copy it versus the people who are better at, say, have more awareness or attention to put out, I don't know, but ask yourself this question. The people who want a quick buck will probably copy it. The people who have more punching power, who have more attention, who are able to market it better, I don't know this for sure, but I feel this in my heart that those people are going to want to utilize their own thing, right? People want to pretend like it's their thing and that they created it because then they feel special, right?
I don't know if it's that. I think they're worried.
Might not be. Might not be.
I think that happens, certainly. But I think maybe the top 2 or 3 guys that do it like that potentially feel like it's better in their hands with an immutable smart contract that they can't change, but they have most of the supply. That's their control vector. It's a control vector. If something goes wrong, because it's all about image to them, right, Sam? So Richard doesn't care if Hex goes to 0 for like moral, like, yes, like he doesn't want everyone to get wrecked, of course. That would be wrecked. But like his reputation, he wouldn't sleep at night because of his reputation. You know what I mean? I know enough about Richard to know that.
But that is the risk in my mind.
That's why people won't buy big people.
Yes, correct. Because that was one of the things we first talked about.
But this is all about the little peoples, and that's what Richard's trying to tell everyone. He's trying to, like in nice words, and he wants everyone to buy, of course. But like at the same time, he's like, this. If you go to a Hex conference, they're random ass peoples, dude. Like the most random corner of the internet kind of guys like us, but in different genres. Like they just don't care what they wear. They don't care what they, same kind of fucking guys. Some are big, some are small, some are fat, some are skinny, but we're all outliers. And enough outliers with enough money like us can really piss people the fuck off and make a difference. And I think he's playing almost on that. The low liquidity is a feature, And
I do think that this, if I wanted to say my girlfriend or my buddy or my brothers to buy crypto, what's the easiest way to get somebody to buy crypto? If it's free. It's free, right? Like
it's still hard.
Yeah, you can get started with crypto. It's going to be $6. I'll give you $6 to get started, and then in 6 days or 2 weeks.
But I have to open a MetaMask account.
Yes.
No, I don't want it. I don't want to. I have things to do. I gotta be upset about my girlfriend who doesn't love me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, dude, set up your MetaMask. Let's fucking go. I knew this shit when I was a kid. Like, get your shit set up. You might not know what's going on, but get it, at least put it on and have an account and write your password down on a piece of paper. Like, like you can do that. It doesn't matter who you are. And that's where Bullish gets a little pissed off because I want to save everyone who's so naive like I was. But really, naivete is just a quicker way to learn if you're being open-minded.
Yeah, that last piece, you got to be open-minded, right? Because naivete is a fucking crutch. It's a fucking bullet in your head if you don't, if you're not like open-minded enough to grasp that other people's points of view have value or can have value to be able to pull those in and just change what you're telling yourself. That's a very good point there because a lot of people don't do that.
Me and Sam have to be reminded by Bullish 100 times a day that people have feelings and that it's disrespectful to just ignore their ego and just talk shit to them because I forget. Like I forget. I'm like, oh, I want information now kind of guy. So when I called Sam 6 years ago, I said, I hate my life, bro. Help me the fuck out. And that's all I was saying. I probably said a lot of words, but he knew what I was saying. I just wanted help. But I was willing to admit it, accept it, own it, and move forward every time to a degree, smaller degrees at some. And that's the whole thing. There's so many people and they know their life sucks. They know they don't have what they want, but they're not willing to admit it to themselves yet. And I admit it right away. So I'm like, and then it hurts people. And it's like, all right, well, why don't I just make a course for people or something like this where they come in because they want my help, but they don't necessarily want me to say it in front of everyone. Or, you know what I'm saying?
And this is something that I like, I wouldn't say I struggle with, but it was definitely an opportunity for me to get better. In a really quick story, I was living with a buddy because I just moved to Massachusetts. He already had a place there. and I rented out a place from him to live there. And we both worked at the same place, right? He had got me a job at when I was working at the bank, right? He got me the job there. We're both working there, and it's just nonstop excuses and complaining about the bank, and complaining about the customers, complaining about the employees, complaining about the processes at the bank. And after about 2 to 3 weeks, I was like, hey, you're just full of fucking excuses. Like, and we'd been butting heads, right? Because I don't want to fucking hear that shit. I don't want to even be around that.
Yeah, maybe for like 10 minutes once.
It's just, or yeah, if I don't have
But
the
not
get
for like
away.
3 days. Like once you start saying the same thing over and over again, it's like, dude, you're just emotionally fucked.
And as I got better at being like tactful, or maybe just not being around that type of behavior, but basically I had the conversation with him, and he got really pissy. I was like, hey man, I'm moving out. I already paid for the month, but like it's been 2.5 weeks, and I'm gonna leave now because I'm gonna rent something else. I don't want to be around fucking excuses and complaining. Just not stop. Like you got to change the story you're telling yourself. But there are. The person has to be ready to hear it, but also I knew that at the time I could approach that in a way that allowed me to build the relationship stronger, instead of like, it did grow stronger over time. So clearly it was the right thing to do, but there's ways where I can communicate things in a tactful way that allows the relationship to grow and flourish more quickly, I think, than how I had potentially approached it back then.
It's just about what you want. I didn't know what I wanted back then, so I didn't have anywhere to go. So I was just complaining all my time. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, what's going on? I don't know what I want in my life. My life sucks. Well, like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to play video games and just jerk off. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and then you're like, okay, I need a mission. And then you spend your life finding a mission. And then once you find it, you never stop moving for the rest of your life, because the missions always change. But so when it comes to Zen token, it's like the idea is perfect. It's the right time. It's the right idea. It's the right everything. But we have to see how it plays out. Assets with low liquidity can just be forked because there's no money in them. But it's just the community thing. It's like the whole, all it is community. If you ask the guys in the chat, what stops somebody from forking this, they'll just say the community.
And what do you, so let me ask you that. What do you think about, you have more contacts on Jack than I do. What do you think of the authenticity and the capability within Jack to be able to build a community?
It's 100%. It's if nobody else was in it, he would do it pretty much better than 99% of people.
And where does that come from? Why do you feel that way, that he would?
Well, he was involved in a scaling technology that scaled the entire universe.
Google.
Yeah. He was the 21st employee. Without him, that probably wouldn't have even been the same experience. Something would have been different. You know, he definitely made something. You know, he was telling me he was pulling boxes, trying to make everything work. Guys like that make shit happen, bro. And they're bored. Jack is here because he is bored. He wants passion project. He wants to stop chilling and put work into the world. And he's going to do that one way or the other. I'm bullish on Jack Levin. No matter what. He could do this 10 times in fucking 1 week if he really had to. The dude has resources. He has money. He has a team. He has people. He's fast to the trigger. He doesn't oversell. He doesn't want people. He doesn't even want to talk about this all that much yet. Like, you could tell now he's getting in his groove a little bit. Like, he's definitely starting to get into it. But it's just, I know what he's trying to do. I can see his vision. And that's why I like to study the founders so much, because I want to see their vision. I want to know what they want. And I think I know that about him. And I think I know that about Richard too. What does Richard want? Yes, of course, to be rich and famous and all that shit. But Richard's just like me. I know he feels like that shit's elementary to a degree. Like, to be a celebrity to me just almost seems easy and horrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you have to do it.
Which way?
It's like, I don't want people to, it's like stressful for most people, dude. It's like, this is a lot of work, but in reality, all you have to do is to be whatever you want. You just have to do it every day. really hard. And it's like, once you learn that, when you're young, you kind of have these fantasies like, oh, these celebrities were like chosen from the gods, and like, and these people were, and it's like, no, wrong. They just did it every day. And then they pick them to be the guy on camera because that's what they wanted to do. And people need to realize that I'm here. If I'm ever so super fucking whatever famous or whatever one day, I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen. I do not care. I'm here because I want to help be better people, better world, more productive, more money, more help, more opportunity for people. It's all better. It's all just better. You know what I mean? So I want to do this shit. The money's easy when you're the first guy fucking involved. I can already see that. I'm not stupid. So that's probably not going to be my biggest issue. So like, I don't really care about having $1 billion. I don't really care about being a celebrity. And I feel like I'm in that headspace a little bit. And I see a lot of that in their personality. It's almost like it's boring. It's almost like it's played out, Sam. It's almost like remember being a YouTube celebrity was like fucking for like a couple years was like, oh my God, like if he would be noticed anywhere you were. If I'm sure I remember this.
No, but that is what happens though, right? Like it's novelty, right?
No, everyone does it now. Everyone's a fucking celebrity now.
Here's the difference. Before, being a celebrity came with certain perks. Now, being a celebrity or being famous, you're at a disadvantage now.
But
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
why I don't
why do you think it's at a disadvantage?
Because
The culture we currently live in, and you're under a microscope, and you have to watch your words and what you do, out of fear of being canceled and stuff like that.
They'll automatically cancel you if you don't follow the rules if you go into the system. Like, because, and I'm not saying cancel, like the reason that you're,
and I'm not saying that applies for everyone, but for most people in like mainstream.
I think Sam knows for certain if he did a different kind of content, he could have millions of subscribers. But you're not willing to do that.
Like, you know how easy it is to get famous? Like, Jim Rat can get famous right now by like walking up to some famous person, knocking them out, and going viral. And it's like, everybody knows who Jim Rat is.
That's a good idea.
I think that there was how we see things like with Hedron where it's like undervalued, right? In my opinion, relative to the amount of demand for hacks, relative to the amount of HSIs that are getting sold to Icosa, there's just a big opportunity that I see there. Well, I think that played out in a very macro level with fame. Fame is the ultimate tool to manipulate, not necessarily in a bad way there, and to achieve whatever it is that you want. Because in the one sense, GRC and myself are celebrities. It's just that the amount of people that fucking pay attention is just pretty fucking small. But what ends up happening is you gather little bits of information that other people don't have the ability to gather, right? We get access to different people. We get people asking us different questions. And when you ask better questions, you get better thought processes, right, of answering those questions. So given that the celebrities was controlled, the status of celebrity was controlled by a bunch of fucking people who held the door and said, you can be a celebrity, you cannot be a celebrity, as in you can think of like Hollywood. That has shifted, and the doors have been wide open now. So I think that the value prop for being a celebrity was so high. It was the Hedron, but add in 3 more zeros, right? It was the Hedron with 4 extra zeros on there. So you have 9 zeros before you get to the first digit, right? And you're like, this is way oversold. This is ridiculous. I can be a celebrity, and this is so undervalued right now that I can be a celebrity and I get fucking millions and millions of dollars easy. Like, just,
the way I wanted to be a celebrity before I met you guys and all that shit. Not a celebrity, but I say have influence, I guess. The way that I was planning on doing, because I didn't plan on teaming up with you guys, obviously. It wasn't part of the plan. You were just moving on about shit. So I wanted to be like Derek, more plates, more dates, where I wanted to be popular, but I never wanted to do a video that wasn't educational sitting right in front of my computer. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I decided. I decided, like, I'm going to make that play. So that was what my first idea was. Like, and then I just went about it. Yeah. I'm doing, this is just a show, but we're going to have a whole entire Barstool Sports, the whole, not Barstool Sports, but like a whole franchise or whatever. And that's just a piece of it. That's just one piece of it. So, and Bullish teaches me things slowly so I don't blow my head through the wall.
It's a brand. It's a brand.
A brand.
But this is just, you're literally doing that vision that you created. Now you're just in step 4 instead of step 36. It's going to get to step 36 and all the other peripheral pieces around it. But step 4 is here. Now.
Yeah, but do you guys notice how I'm not like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Like, no, I don't care because it's all manual hard work anyway. I was manually hard working before this. It just wasn't scaling. It just wouldn't scale. I was just like a money printing, but like no scaly poo-poos. Like I like the scale part. And this I can scale all day long, every single day. People like me. I've always been a social dude. I've always been a salesman. I'm a white boy. I got long, thick hair, whatever. Like I was like, I'll be that guy. Like it was more like that was my role rather than like I want to do this for whatever. I just like this would be an easy way for me to get a lot of followers and finally spread the truth about the world that I want to spread.
Yes. And you're literally doing it now, which is freaking awesome to see. On a little bit of a tangent, there's a question here, and then I received a phone call last night from somebody who bought something from me a couple years ago, or followed or did a coaching with him. I don't remember what it was because I honestly don't remember the call. And he's like, "Hey, I just wanted to thank you." He's now a pro baseball player in the minor leagues, but getting paid to do this kind of stuff. And I thought of that because of the vision, right? You had this idea, this vision for yourself that like, hey, I want to do whatever it is that like More Plates, More Dates is doing, but I want to do it with my style, like providing value. And you're just so early on that journey without realizing how much more is going to grow and happen over time of you creating that vision into your own life.
Right, because Sam and I and Bullish know the only thing that matters is guys that don't stop. It doesn't really matter how perfect I am. It doesn't matter how amazing. Like, yes, I have to be pretty impressive and pretty good at what I'm doing most of the time. But I need to work forever on autopilot forever until I'm done with whatever goal I'm achieving, and then I'll move on to the next one. There is nothing else to do. Especially in a bear market. Maybe in a bull market, we all can go fishing or something. Like, maybe. Like, whatever.
You're gonna have goals. You're gonna have goals though. You're never gonna not have goals.
I know, but like unlike you, Sam, I do like to experience social things because I feel like I'm supposed to do that every once in a while. And that's more from just me.
What ends up happening is you end up moving the goalpost further and further and further.
I already moved it to Joe Rogan's fucking replacement. I got
and that's a good thing. That's a good thing because what that means is there's progress.
Yes. Dude, that Joe Rogan replacement thing is starting to sound a little bit doable too. I'm like, oh, let's go.
Yeah, that's the beauty. That's the beauty about the world we live in, and especially things that are based on the internet. If you've seen someone else do it, guess what? You can probably do it too.
Yeah, I got super.
You want muscles like Sam? Put in the work. You'll get there.
You can. There are tools out there to get, and I did that. And me and Sam are totally different body types. So, but when I took my shirt off at the gym for a long time, not right now. I'm a normal dude right now for the most part. I mean, I'm still shreddy poo-pooed to the gills. But like when I took my shirt off for about 3 years straight, I mean, people immediately would stare at me and say, this guy is absolutely a specimen of fucking being ripped. Because it was always about physique to me. I always wanted to be like, you know what I mean? Like I wanted it to look proportional because I wasn't going to play the big man game. I just wasn't. So I was like 175 and just like as cut as you could humanly be while still benching like 225 for 20 or 15. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yep.
So it was a great feeling, but it takes work. And I was a shrimp. I was 108 pounds when I graduated high school. No, I was 130 pounds when I graduated high school. And I was less than that when I graduated college, dude. I mean, I didn't graduate or none of that, but I meant when I did more education or was flopping around or whatever, I was taking so much Adderall that I actually was 120 pounds at 24 years old. And, so you can do it if you want to, but you actually have to do it. And that's how I learned that. I learned that from that bodybuilding experience.
And now you're picking back on top of this, but I liked that you switched to the fitness thing because we do have an update relative to the Crypto Fitness Challenge that we want to, right? Bullish, did you want to get on here and share the update with the Crypto Fitness Challenge?
Yeah, so around 3 p.m. Eastern today in about 3 hours, dropping the document for the people in the community to do their voting. And at the end of the week, we'll make the announcements, choose the winners. and wrap it up.
And that'll be good. Thank you. Where are you going to be dropping that?
In the Telegram group. So this voting is for the people who participated and are going to be voting for who they think the community member should win. That will be like the third prize. And just to recap, the first prize will be leaderboard. Right now, there's a 3-way tie, but the way the system calculates it is based on when you inputted your tasks. So there's a clear winner, 3-way tie. So we're going to figure that part out. Then there is the winner that Sam and Jim Rat are going to be picking, and then the community one.
That's so.
We have a pool of 100,000 hex, which is going to be split, amongst the 3 winners, and a few other different prizes that were promised, like NFTs and stuff like that. That's pretty much it.
Yes, thank you for that, guys. Keep an eye out on your Telegram. The Crypto Fitness Challenge Telegram group is where you're going to vote. That's where the link's going to be. He's going to, once it gets shared in there, you'll be able to pin it in there, and everybody will be able to see like the names that you've been using in the Telegram group.
I'm also gonna send out a mass email through the Watify app, just to like remind people that the link is there and to go into the Telegram. And then from there, it's up to the community to vote, who they feel should be the winner. I have a hunch. I'm not gonna say the names here, but I have a hunch on who I think is gonna end up being in the top 3 for that. So it's going to be interesting to see once those votes come in.
Yeah, very, very interesting. I saw this from Crypto Dave. Thank you for the comment. How many times can you mint Zen? As many as you would like.
Yeah, so guys, there's some nuance there. And I would like you to learn before you go out, because this is what everyone will do. If you're smart in here, you don't do this. They'll say, oh, you can mint it forever. You win forever, and life is only fair for you. Guys, people think about these things beforehand a little bit, okay? So this is an adoption play. This is a free mint. There's going to be liquidity, and you're going to be able to buy on. If you're a smaller user, in my opinion, Jack, he's not hiding over there anywhere, okay? Buying $100 or $50, $200 at USDC, a Zen token at the bottom, when it's just starting and it's really close to zero, in 6 months will be unrecognizable. So if proper adoption happens, so just understand that you can click for 3 days or spend $100. It's just,
or even do both. Like it's
right.
You're just paying a transaction transaction fee.
But I know users, right? They're not you. They just want to get it done with. It's just how I am too. That way. I'm not going to click through it, and I could use the money, frankly, but I have a mission from the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't help myself sometimes. I'm just like I don't have an extra $100 all the time to just do stuff I should not do. But yesterday, like, I stopped mowing my lawn to do the Jack Levin stream. I just fucking gave my roommate $100. I was like, I'd just finish it for me, bro. I want to do this stream. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, I'm so excited about work right now, but that'll also calm down. It calms down over time, and then you get more focused on your whole entire life, like Sam is more. Like Sam focuses on all the pieces right now. I skip some when I get excited still, because I'm so, So, but that's the 151 in here, guys. Absolutely lit. I want you guys to follow my Twitter, because I'm going to 10,000 subs. I'm at like 9131. So let's go. I want that to happen. And I'm doing a show after this where I cover an 1.5-hour video, and I'm just going to stream the whole thing and comment on it of Zen, every nuance point, top to bottom, and I'll let you know how I like the video too. The guy who made the video is not affiliated with the team whatsoever. So he's just an informational guy who made an absolute killer video. So if you guys want to watch that, I'm going live in probably 23 minutes, depending on what these, I think either 23 minutes or 1 hour. So it's either going to be 12:30 or 1 p.m. I'm going to talk about Zen top to bottom. If you're working, if you're mowing your lawn, if you're talking to your dog, you put your earbuds in and you listen about Zen so you can understand and you can make life-changing wealth for your family if these things adopt with $0 to no US dollar you have to put in. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for everybody tuning in today. 151 people here today. Fucking, you guys are awesome.
Smash that,
AJ.
right?
Yeah, press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the new channel. If you want to figure out where all of the social is going to be, that's CITM. Is that what it is? Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
cryptointhemorningcast.com, and you'll have all the access to everything over there, including the podcast. If you guys want to listen to it, the podcast, the show is a podcast while you're doing stuff, Apple, Spotify, Google, etc. Jump over there. If you do listen to any of the podcasts, leave us a review. Leave us a review on those. If you're getting value from it, we would really appreciate it. Take a screenshot of that. Tag me on Instagram or send me a DM. Get on a free call with you.
And tell all your people to subscribe to the new channel, because the moment we switch over to the new channel, guys, we're upgrading the production. We have a whole new layout.
And it has to be done this way because I'm literally like attached to all the things that we do by force, because I was just like the guy who started, and now I don't have any ability to be a productive human being on the computer, and I need someone else to control the shit. Like Bullish is one of my best friends in the world at this point. So yeah, we're gonna punch up. We're gonna punch hard. We're upgrading everything. New layout. Same show but better show. I've never had a team before. Yes.
This is gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
To have a team.
We should have the countdown for the other channel in terms of YouTube subscribers, so that we can keep everybody updated.
I got to get aggro on that. I got to get excited.
Yeah,
because I just need to get pumped about it. You do something for so long, and it's just hard to move. Really, like it's just like you're like, but that's why we have Bullish, because he's a pro.
Yes. So let's take us out of here with some DeFi proof. Any last words here before we get out of here?
Yeah, guys, you already know. Hold on, look. Check it. Oh, shoot. Hold on. The Jim Rat Crypto Show. I'm doing the Jim Rat Crypto Show whenever there's news, whenever there's anything, whenever anything's going down, I'm covering it. And guess what? I'm allowed to talk shit, because now I care less if this channel gets nuked. But I still care. I very much care. But sometimes we get a little saucy in the chat and all that stuff. But when things are coming out, I'm going to call it like I see it. When these tokens and these furus are acting up, I'm going to pump the algo and smash their hearts. So let's get it. And I'll be live in like 20 minutes, roughly 25, 30 minutes.
Peace.
Peace out, guys. Zen token informational 20 minutes.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Heart. Richard Heart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. 0.1 every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at why they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hair restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.